again. It's crazy. I played it twice all the way through.
Different character.
Yeah, different character. It's the only game I've done that with because that's how much I love the game. And so like I would pick different options, different life paths, and all that stuff.
See, for me, it's like, okay, I can understand it not having like the super length of a Skyrim game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Walk down my little house of horror. Feel like the Black Madonna. Walk down my little house of horror. Feel like the Black Madonna. Walk down my little house of horror. Feel like the Black Madonna. Walk down my little house of horror.
This is the creator. The creator. Stop playing.
I feel like the Black Madonna.
Which game? Got the big headphones.
That's my gaming headset.
This shit is hard, bro. Good.
All right, and we are back with another episode of Inkonsistent Podcast. I got my bros with me. I got AG Dynasty. Say what's up, bro.
Yes, sir. What's up, y'all?
And I got my boy Zay Because.
What's good? What's good?
Hope you enjoyed their little intro. You was talking about, what are you talking about? Anime. Old school anime versus modern anime.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, like the chibi
Yeah.
stuff, like Teen Titans Go art styled anime?
Yeah, that style. We just kind of like talking about, and I'm not saying every anime in the new anime is bad. You know what I'm saying? You got things like Attack on Titan. You know, I've heard good things about Demon Slayer and stuff.
Demon Slayer is amazing, bro. You haven't seen it?
No, I still haven't seen it. Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer's amazing.
I've seen Jujutsu Kaisen, the new Bleach, of course. That's my, I'm a huge Bleach fan, but it's like I feel like a lot of new anime caters to like almost like a child demographic, right? And you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that either. It's just that it ain't for me, and it might be because I'm getting older or like I'm getting nostalgic about the old stuff. But you know, that's just my opinion on it.
Nah, I think there's a lot of anime out there that has a whole bunch of different styles. I've honestly just recently taken a step back from like comics, like Western comics, like Marvel and DC and all that, and I kind of just stepped back into my anime bag.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of gonna use this anime topic to segue into another anime that segues into a video game, because we talk about video games on the podcast and stuff too.
Yes, sir.
And CyberPunk has an anime. You seen that?
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Edge Runners, we talking about new anime, that's the upper echelon right there. I feel like Edge Runners, first of all, the cyberpunk genre is like, I feel like there needs to be more media for it. It's crazy that we got the video game, we got this anime, and then we have slight references in maybe TV shows and other movies, right? But I'm talking about a full cyberpunk anime, full cyberpunk video game. Like we haven't got that a lot, I feel like. And it's crazy it hasn't happened because you see like this whole retro wave trend happening right now in music, film, TV, and it's like it's crazy we don't have more of it. But you know what I'm saying? There's more time. But yes, Edge Runners, that's my shit.
You know what's crazy? The one pet peeve I have with Edge Runner is the fact they went into it with the end date. They went into it with it being more of a short snippet into the life of.
Like a definitive ending?
Yeah, I really feel like they should have bet on themselves more and saw people picking up the culture of the show just as strongly as the culture of the game. And that's the only part that I was like, man, I would love to see this expand as the game.
It's funny you say that, because that was like the summary of my review for Cyberpunk the game. And AG hates my opinion on that apparently. But that was really like my biggest gripe with the game, was that I felt like the game ended in a way, especially because I was playing it on PS4. So PS4 is not getting any up patches, it's not getting any updates, it's not getting any DLC. So as far as, people who was waiting for that game, like, because I was waiting for that game from like high school basically. Right. So, for people who's waiting for that game on PS4, what we have now is what we're gonna get. Like they told us flat out, we're not doing anything else for the game. So when I judged that game as its complete package, or as it is, I was like, damn, this game is like one of those games that has like one of the greatest RPG mechanics I've ever seen, where it's like you level up in so many different ways, and you just see your character grow in so many different ways, like actively and like also subconsciously, that no other RPG really do, and that's dope. But between like all the patches and all, like they kind of like wiped my character low key, where I had to put like the points back into my character.
Definitely.
Like I kept the points that I had leveled up, but because of all the changes to like the skill trees and stuff like that, I had to put the points back into my character. But because I'd already beaten the game, there wasn't any, like, I'm not a new game plus person unless it's like significantly something I really want to do something. So I was like, okay, let me try and see how this new build is gonna work out. And there's no side quests or anything for me to really kind of expand, because like, I mean, if you play CyberPunk, which we're coming up on a DLC now, but spoilers, like, you're supposed to die at least half the endings.
But that's the thing I disagree with you about, because like in the game, bro, you talking about the side quest, there isn't like much that is expanded on, but there's actually a lot if you really go looking for it, bro. Because like when you read the shards, when you read the computers in the game, bro, like it's so many connections. Like I remember this one dude, this YouTuber, and he's talking about like how there's missions in I think it's not Westbrook, the city center, south of city center, that area. There's a whole bunch of missions, and they all connect to each other. Like there's characters from that connects to a character up in Watson or something. Watson's the first district you're in when you first start the game, right? And so like that stuff, like, bro, how they each connect, and the characters will name other characters, and depending on the order you do the missions, sometimes they'll reference other characters and stuff. And so like I feel like CyberPunk, yes, maybe in a traditional way, like maybe if we compared it to like a Bethesda game, like Bethesda games, there's all these connections and the side missions, the main missions and stuff. But CDPR, I feel like just did the same thing, because I don't know if you played Witcher 3.
I did not like The Witcher.
Oh, for real? Yeah, so like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy, I know. It's already a hot take.
Witcher 3 is considered like the greatest game of all time.
I know, it's a hot take.
It's and I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a fantasy person, but I appreciate the art of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Witcher 3, and there's all type of references into Cyberpunk if you haven't played Witcher. But it's like CDPR is known for that storytelling, that vivid, like those vivid storytelling, like those like real knee-jerk, like they really tug at your heartstrings type shit. And so like I feel like CyberPunk does it really well. But yes, I would say I wish there was a new game plus, because this is a game I definitely would play again. It's crazy, I played it twice all the way through.
Different character.
Yeah, different character. It's the only game I've done that with, because that's how much I love the game. And so like I would pick different options, different life paths and all that stuff.
See, for me it's like, okay, I can understand it not having like the super length of a Skyrim game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up on all types of RPGs. So for example, Mass Effect, one of my top tier RPGs of all time. So far. And I probably replayed Mass Effect 2 a few times, quite a few times back in the day. Like not even recently, but like back in the day, 1, 2, 3, I played them all. So a game can have like a definitive ending. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of those games where it also has that Grand Theft Auto vibe. Yeah. Where it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, hey, you got
futuristic Grand Theft Auto.
You know what I'm saying? So you do want to run around in this world. You do want to kind of just fuck around and just do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the game on PS4, because I feel like my opinion of it on PS5 has to take into account there is more coming. You know what I mean? So there is a reason, to keep playing, kind of, sort of. But the way they ended the game on the PS4 after you complete the final mission is they take you back to a point of before you complete it. Before the point of resolution. Yeah.
And it does the same for us.
And I feel like that just kind of feels weird, because it feels like I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's because you're supposed to die in the game or because they didn't want you to do that and then come back after that. Like, because I like seeing the changes that happen in the world after you do things. You know what I'm saying? And even in Grand Theft Auto Online, when you're taking over these, casinos and buying these places, even though you're sharing the world with other people, like, you still own a building right here. You still became king of the streets. Over here somewhere, like, in an RPG game, like, I wanted to see V kind of grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to take over the streets, or he's in this. He has, like, it's an RPG.
It's a good point, man.
I wanted to get into his story, but they kept saying, bro, you're gonna die. Okay, I'm fighting my death. Nah, you still die, bro. And like, I went through all the different endings. You know what I'm saying? I've seen all the different endings. So I'm like, okay, like, even the ones where he wins and that's where the DLC is, like, kind of building off of. On the idea of the PS5 where there's gonna be more, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be lit. But on the idea of the PS4 where it's like, this is it, I'm like,
so there's no hopes of open
like the open world is there, but it's like I don't know, like I don't feel the same sense of fun in playing in that open world that I would from playing in like Grand Theft Auto's open world. Even if I'm not progressing in GTA's online or even single player open world, I still have fun just playing with the tools in the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even and then in Skyrim, like I might not do all the side quests or stuff, but if I start doing like a side quest, chances are it's gonna take me somewhere where I'm gonna get lost into a side quest. You know what I'm saying?
So, question: does it almost put you in the mind state of like, okay, did you spend all this time developing or arguing amongst each other?
Right.
What were you doing?
What was I doing? What was I doing this whole time?
Like the whole series, because you're saying people were waiting on this since high school. That's like
That's funny.
almost 8 years.
This is a Witcher show thing. But now go ahead.
But that's almost 8 years waiting on the game, and then now it brings in the question of what were we really waiting on?
Right, and the game is great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I really do think that what CyberPunk did mechanically, visually, like I said this in my review,
It's one of the most beautiful.
it's one of the most beautiful games. Like, but I have to like, this is where I say like I always give games kind of like a hard time sometimes because I'm like, hey man, we in the we're in PS5 now. They're not making no more PS4 games no more. You know what I'm saying? So we're at the point where it's PS5. So I'm like, hey, if I look back at the Xbox 360 and I'm like, I had this, and this back when, you know, games was really struggling or on the come up or whatever.
Yeah.
Like nobody was banking on BioWare back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But BioWare was like, hey, we're gonna give you choices in every conversation because it's a role-playing game.
Yeah.
You know, take your chances. Go left or right. Which one do you want to do? This is Western. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all of that. Like, Fable was iconic because Fable had so much. Fable had so much stuff.
Fable has
Bro.
so much character. It was such a silly game, but it's like the connections, like the mass world connections. Like if you made a certain decision here, it would like reverberate to the end. Like this shit was crazy.
By Fable 3, they had that shit on point.
Yeah.
Bro,
okay.
why is that not like? Why is microtransactions the thing that's in every game, but like meaningful in-game character evolution not?
So
you
the
know what
answer,
I mean? In an
so
RPG.
the answer to that question
'Cause-
is almost like two parts. Sorry, I mean
No, you good, you good,
but
you good.
no, it's like a two-part question, right? So the game industry has gone through a huge overhaul the past 10 years. We're talking about games that are shifted only to multiplayer. Call of Duty, the past 2 Call of Duty games don't even have a campaign, bro. It's the craziest thing. They don't even have a story. It just be like you got like Cold War. No, before that was Black Ops 2, and then you had Call of Duty Warzone, or no, Modern Warfare or something like that, and that only had like one thing, which was called Warzone. And then you have Overwatch, you have Apex Legends, the Fortnites, all these games that are built off like whole battle passes,
Games as a service, game as
right?
services.
And so like that, those like live services games, like
Live
the
service, yeah.
And also the second thing is like to write a narrative, you gotta hire a narrative department, you gotta hire a narrative director, quest directors, you gotta have all these people write. Yeah,
We are on a writer strike. That's
We
crazy.
are on a writer strike.
And it's in every field, yeah.
yeah. So I feel like they're trying to save money because multiplayer is less expensive, but at the same time, it's crazy when people say that because you gotta keep adding it to these live services, right? You gotta constantly be adding like cosmetics or like a new helmet or a new gun, or like in Fortnite they add like Master Chief and John Wick or some shit. Like they continue adding stuff, and it's like I feel like the game industry, and you know, not to go off on another tangent, this is why I'm so excited about Starfield, bro. Starfield could come make it full circle, bro. Cause if Starfield drops correctly and Bethesda kills this shit, bro, like man, we're gonna go back to single player games. Cause Starfield has no multiplayer, bro.
That'll make it good.
It could be the biggest game ever, and it has no multiplayer.
That'll make it good though. That's not good.
Let's be real, bro. Come on.
Hey, look, I think Starfield's gonna be
interactive.
amazing. I don't like being single player, being multiplayer. Like those are cool, but like those are cool or bad. Like the Avengers game versus the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Right.
Like everybody hated the Avengers game because it's a live service game, right?
Yeah, facts.
And I played the game. They made a bunch of trash ass decisions on on that
They
game.
did in the
You know
story.
what I'm saying? I didn't even touch the story mode because I honestly did not want the story mode in that game.
Fair.
I didn't think that game needed a single player
No, you fair.
that
Fair.
that it tried to give us in the terms of like they wanted to go Last of Us. Like they wanted someone that Last of Us hype.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, just give me your freaking superhero game with my friends. I didn't ask you for that story mode. I didn't ask for that single player shit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to play as a superhero with my friends and go fight the Hulk or something. Like do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, they gave us this Guardians of the Galaxy game because everybody was like, oh, the multiplayer was trash on the Avengers game. Why did they do live service on the Avengers game? So then they made Guardians of the Galaxy. Mind you, I actually was waiting for the Guardians to join the Avengers.
No, yeah.
I thought the Guardians would be the best thing to ever happen in the Avengers game.
They probably had plans.
They go to space. They, you know, like all the cosmic, like what? In the Avengers game would have been perfect. Perfect.
They probably had plans, but they canceled the whole thing.
They canceled the whole thing and made it single player. And
such a huge brand on its own.
Exactly. But I played the Guardians game. I played it for like 10 minutes. I hate that game so much. It's so boring. It's so boring as a single player game. It's so boring. I don't think they took advantage. They didn't take advantage of the fact of the IP. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at that the Spider-Man game coming out, bro, they take advantage. Like the first game, I'm a little tough on because they played it safe. I feel like they played the first Spider-Man game on PS4 safe. But the new Spider-Man, they said, hey, we already played it safe. We already secured that.
Right.
We about to take off.
Oh, yeah.
We throwing Venom suits in this. We throwing all this crazy crap in here. Like we taking advantage of Spider-Man. And we got two of them in here. And one of them is completely different from the other one. We taking full advantage of this. You know what I'm saying?
Everything you see tangible in this universe is for you.
It's for you.
They following the Arkham formula, bro.
Yeah.
You just build it. You just keep on building that shit.
And you know that's why I'm also gonna be hard on the Star Wars game sometimes. But with you know the Guardians game, I didn't feel like they took advantage of the IP. Like I don't think they said, hey, we really have the Guardians of the Galaxy, or if they want, because this game isn't even a Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it seems like it is, but it really feels more like a Star-Lord game, which I'm a huge Star-Lord fan, so this should be like my other Arkham game, because you know what I'm saying? Like I should love this, and I'm like, I don't feel like you took advantage of the fact this is a Star-Lord game.
Star-Lord.
You know, it doesn't feel like you wanted to make me like feel like I'm Star-Lord and I spend as much time as he would getting his tools together and making the decisions he's making. Like it feels so superficial. You know what I'm saying?
Almost like they made it based off the actor. Not the
Yeah,
actor.
and the hype of a single player. Because everybody was like a single player game. And every time I watch a review, bro, pull up any review for Guardians of the Galaxy. First thing they start saying, finally, a single player game that's good. A great single player experience. The single player campaign. The single player. And I'm just like, bro, single player don't mean shit if it's a boring, not really worth it game.
I don't know what they talking about. There's plenty of good single player
There,
games.
Horizon Zero Dawn is single player.
Yeah.
Amazing. Skyrim, single
God of
player.
War.
Amazing. Fallout, God of War.
Every
Resident Evil, most of the time. Single player. Amazing. They did co-op and it's cool. They did the 5, 6,
They know how
whatever,
to do
and
co-op
they did some
properly.
co-op and it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
co-op.
it was like, it's like, hey, whether it's single player or not, like Starfield can be single player. They can have multiplayer in it and it shouldn't kill the game.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Like,
and
It's
that's
an option as you explore. Like,
and when I say multiplayer, I literally mean it's like I've become biased because I rarely play multiplayer anymore. And when I did play multiplayer was the heyday of multiplayer. We're talking about Halo 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, not this fucking remake they make. They remake
Modern Warfare 2, man.
I'm
I feel like
talking
that
about
Call of
the
Duty
original
on that.
Call of Duty, original Halo
Yeah.
games. That's the pinnacle of multiplayer right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Custom games, like that was the pinnacle.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you know, these kids growing up now, they didn't experience that. So of course, like you got a Fortnite, which I'm sure is amazing. I still haven't played Fortnite, but they got Apex Legends. You know, they're in their own renaissance, right? So like, if we were to talk to one of these kids, they'd probably be like, you know, you wildin', or like, I don't know what the hell you talking about? Like, this is crazy, this and you know what I'm saying? They got their own opinions on it. But when I mean multiplayer, it's like I feel like I lean more into like predatory microtransactions, the loot boxes, like the idea, like they're basically teaching these kids how to gamble. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where the laws come into place.
And it's crazy because like when they click these loot boxes, I'm like, bro, this is a slot machine.
Yeah.
This is a straight up slot machine. And so like, that's my only thing. If they got rid of that, I have no problem with multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? I would get back into it, but I'm older now. I want stories. You know, I like to read dialogue. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
puzzle pieces.
exactly. So.
So we got.
Playing Dune, right?
Yeah.
This is like Dune lore and stuff.
I don't even know. Let's get back to some CyberPunk because we were supposed to be talking about this DLC trailer, and I do want to talk about this DLC trailer.
You should look amazing.
I'd like to read the screenplay for the whole Cyberpunk universe.
Oh yeah, that dude. So Paolo Sasco, he's the quest director for Cyberpunk. He talked about like how the script for it was like video game scripts can be like hundreds of pages, bro. Like a movie script will maybe be like 10 pages and maybe even like 20 pages, something like that. Video game scripts can be hundreds of pages, except for an RPG, like that can go in multiple directions depending on where the player chooses.
That could be a series of volumes. Bro.
And so, like, to create a game like, I have so much respect for people who create open worlds because it's the most difficult game to make. You know what I'm saying? Probably up there with fighting games. But like, this stuff is like, to write it down, to think about that at a macro level. Like, this man Paolo Sasco was talking about, yeah, we used to have like crazy whiteboards where we just draw everything, all the arrows, dialogue trees. Like, bro, come on. Like, it's so complicated. You gotta have a team for that type of shit. So
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, I guess that's that, right?
Myself. Ashword update coming out soon too. So
oh, facts. Yeah, let's
I'm
go.
working on the story mode. But yeah, it's
amazing, man.
it is looking crazy.
Got a fucking mech in this shit, bro. I'm so excited to fight this shit, man. Bro, I already pre-ordered this. You know that?
You pre-ordered it?
I already pre-ordered it.
I say he ordered.
You think I'm playing around, bro? I'm the biggest cyberpunk.
But I feel like they was trying to play me though because they put Idris Elba in this, and they said, "Shy, I know you're not gonna say no to Idris Elba." I'm like, bro, that's like one of my favorite actors.
Oh yeah, and let me say for the people
Like, just for the
listening,
story.
let me specify for people, listening on to the podcast. So, Shy, he plays on PlayStation. I play on Xbox. I've
I'm
always
finding
been
this out today. I didn't know this before. Could have changed the whole podcast.
Yeah, so
we are pretty different.
Yeah, we are very different. I'm like a vintage Xbox player. I had the original Xbox. I went to 360, and then I recently bought the Xbox Series S.
Oh,
Okay.
he
Okay.
So I'm like
radio.
full Xbox. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? So it's like
okay.
for me.
Okay. Yeah, my Xbox experience was not that good. See, I started off on PlayStation. Mom's got me a PlayStation 1.
Right.
Then somehow I acquired a PS2. And then got a PS3. No, before I got the PS3 though, she was like $800 back in the day. Couldn't get that with
Yeah,
like 5
no
siblings.
cap. That shit
Hell
was
no.
expensive.
So mom got me my first Xbox 360. Played Mass Effect 1 for the first time. I could have transitioned and stayed on Xbox forever because I got Prototype on Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite game. I've New Game Plus
Prototype
plus,
so
plus
fire.
that game
Prototype
so many
so
times.
fire.
But Xbox got the Red Ring of Death. And I had
never
never,
experienced
I had never heard of that
I got
happening
it.
on PlayStation.
I got it 3 times on my Xbox.
See, I had that Xbox Connect, and they mostly like we had I think the PlayStation, mostly Nintendo shit, and then we had the Xbox Connect. I never experienced the Red Ring of Death, and that was my only fear. But I feel like when I rented Ghost one time, I came close because they had
Oh, yeah,
never
for real.
processed something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I brought my Xbox back twice. I never had it permanently die because I sold it after that.
Yeah.
And I bought I got a PS3.
Yeah, it's sad, bro, because like the 360 is considered like the best Xbox era because they had the best games, bro. We're talking about 2007, Halo 3, Gears of War 2, Modern Warfare 2 came out the same year. I want y'all to understand this shit. Those 3 games were all on Xbox and they came out like around the same holiday. That was one of the greatest gaming years of all time. I was talking to one of my homies like this year could be the greatest gaming year in all time because we had Jedi Survivor, we had Final Fantasy 16, we got Phantom Liberty later this year, we got Starfield. I mean, like,
Yeah, dude, we're back in the renaissance of that.
we're back in the renaissance of gaming.
Yeah,
Like,
this
shit
is a
crazy.
good renaissance right now. I'm not
Full
gonna
circle,
front.
bro.
But that's because we was in a drought. Oh my god, like the last
Biggest drought.
the middle to end of PS4 and whatever the last Xbox is called, drought. These are some of the worst games.
We're talking 10, like an 8-year drought. Like, an 8-year drought, bro.
And they were still dropping games, but Boy.
Man, I got back into gaming at the perfect time, bro.
I'm saying like,
hey, no cap, bro. I got
because the games is looking good now. Even the Jedi Survivor game is looking good.
Oh my god, yeah, no, we gotta talk about that definitely.
But every time I click on this CyberPunk, we end up on The Witcher.
Cause it's a short trailer, bro. You got pause it.
Okay, all right.
The Witcher 2, what he talking like?
Yeah, they know. It's the algorithm. All right. So let's get some sound. Can you hear this?
There's gotta be a way out of this.
I can't hear it.
No, I muted it.
Johnny,
Can you hear
Okay,
it?
yeah, it's coming to my headphones.
You said you probably
there's
can't
nothing
hear it.
can
I'm sorry.
stop that.
All right, so that's V. That's the character you play.
V. My name is Songbird.
Songbird.
I'm an NUS
I
intelligence
like her name.
analyst.
That's
I know about the bomb ticking in your head. And I can
even
see
these effects, like the
your mind.
hand effects, they definitely changed that.
What's the catch?
I need you to get to Dogtown.
All right, so they're saying that maybe we can save his life this time. I just want to see this guy have like more of his own stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think you're right about V not being able to
Sleeper agent.
evolve over time. Like definitely the characters around him evolve more than he does. But yeah, I hopefully they make a canon ending for this game because when CyberPunk Orion comes out, the sequel, like they need a canon ending. You know what I'm saying?
Myers out of there.
I mean, ending or like,
For safety.
I really feel like they need to go back into the RPG elements of the game and kind of
Catch us out here, we're dead.
really think about the city.
Hear that?
Like they need to go back into the world.
Yeah, they adding that in with the new update for this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
'Cause-
we'll talk more. I got a whole list of shit right here that they added in. But after the trailer, we'll talk about it.
Someone ratted
Bro,
us
this shit
out.
looks so far. The pyramid of Atlanta.
Pyramid of Atlantis.
It's a charade, V.
Wherever she goes, people get hurt. Bodies drop.
Just want what Songbird promised me.
The cure.
The situation's changed. Need to know if you're with me.
Illusion of freedom draws in the desperate. Pick your truth, V.
Come on. Got iron in your head. Gotta put it to someone's head. Pull the trigger.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba in the
That's
game.
crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And me, because I'm about to be in the game.
Oh,
But
really?
hey,
Yeah, we about to do it. Hell
I'll be playing V.
yeah. Got it pre-ordered. I got this.
September
Literally, I have
26th.
this date on my calendar. I'm like Phantom Liberty coming out 9/26, September 26th. I'm ready.
Yeah, so the trailer looks good. The trailer looks good. It looks like a narrative trailer, which is very dope. So that gives me like more to play in the game. I think that's dope. I really think that's dope. What I want out of CyberPunk, the trailer doesn't tell me though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you right. And that's what I was telling one of my other homies about it. I was like, they need to do another Night City Wire, which like for people that don't know, Night City Wire was like their daily. They used to do a Night City Wire like every couple of weeks, where they would talk about the game before the game came out, and they would like show gameplay. They would be like, "This is how this works," you know. So
Right,
you know,
right.
woo and all. They need to do another Night City Wire, explaining all the changes they're doing to the base game. Because even myself, I'm like, I want to see all the changes, like. Cause like my profile gonna be fucked? Like, am I gonna have to remake this character? Cause I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that shit. So like, I'm really hoping they scale it for late game characters. You know, someone like me I have 2 late game characters. I don't want them to break. So
Pyramid of Atlanta. Shout
yeah,
out.
Pyramid
But
right there. And
so
this looks like
this
bro,
video is this is I think the
This is
developer's
actual-
talking about it.
Yeah, but this is actual in game. Like,
Yeah.
look how good this is. The best Cyberpunk has ever looked. Like the post-apocalyptic type of vibe they got to it. Bond-esque.
So, but yeah, the trailer looks good. The game looks good. What I really just want out of Cyberpunk is a world I can get lost in.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not specifically just the campaign. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'd get into it for the new story, and I'd probably enjoy the story. And then if that's all there is to it, I'll be like, cool, that was worth getting back into again.
what you're saying.
But I do want to play. I would love to play Cyberpunk in the same way I played Skyrim or Grand Theft Auto or Fallout or so many other types of like open world games where it's like even Hogwarts Legacy where I just hop into the game, not even to do anything, but just to do something. You know what I mean?
That's the ultimate. Like,
you know what I mean?
From the first Harry Potter like game they had that came out to Hogwarts Legacy, that's gold.
What was the first one? Was it like Sorcerer's Stone, right? Like they made a Sorcerer's Stone
I think
game?
it was based on Ask. I want to say it was the Ask game. Because I remember the Dimensions being in it.
But yeah, anyway, that's it. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy is fun.
Yeah, you know, I like Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk's aesthetic. I love everything about it. I just want to be able to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go here and then just see what's going on over here.
Yeah.
You know, like let there be something happening over here worth getting into outside of like beat up this bounty guy and get this flash drive from upstairs.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what I end up having to do.
It's a lot of like fetch quests. I'll give you that. Like definitely the NYPD scanner hustles. Like I feel like more could be added in. Even though some of those quests, they'll make references to like side quests or main story and stuff like that. But no, like so I got a list of things they're adding into the new patches they're gonna add before the thing. So they said clothing will no longer affect armor. Instead, all armor will now be gained through cyberware, which is kind of dope.
That's cool. That's cool.
But it it really makes the transmog system useless. Cause I had all these like outfits set up for my character, you know what I'm saying? And like it makes the whole thing useless. But it makes sense in game lore for them to change that. You know what I'm saying? So the second thing is all cyberware will now have a unique cutscene when installed at the Ripper Dock, which is what a lot of people were like. They wanted to add in like. That's like the immersive element, right? Okay. So you go to the Ripper Dock and they'll pull out your eye and fix it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's pretty cool.
And all that stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see. First look at rework skill trees. So we were talking about the skill trees. They're gonna rework the entire skill tree again. So we had to put our perks in again. Unfortunately, that'll be the third time I had to do that shit.
Yeah, I think I did like 3 times too.
Alright, melee combat has been upgraded with new animations and finishers, which is what everyone in the community been asking for this. You can block bullets with katanas.
Bro, low-key I thought I was doing that before, so I might have just been doing the Deadpool thing where I get shot anyway. But I thought I was doing it. I do love Cyberpunk's melee. Like I thought Skyrim had a trash ass melee system. I mastered magic. I mastered bows and arrows. I started doing magic bow and arrows because I did not want to pick up a sword in that game, bro. I did not like it. I did not like it. I think Cyberpunk really dope melee. Like all types of melee in Cyberpunk go hard. I fucks with it.
Yeah, so. That's one thing. Like the combat's like this shit so far. Right?
Yeah, I really feel like they did that shit nice. So if I could block bullets, let me get that perk real quick.
And they're adding.
I know that's gonna go hard.
They're adding new vehicles. They're adding new clothing, armor. Apparently, like there's an armor which you can like run through people and pick them up and smash them against the wall, like or some like wrestling type shit, like WWE type shit. That's gonna be fun.
I do think, and this is where it goes into kind of like playing into or like really taking advantage of your unique IP, your unique story setting, whatever. Because like Cyberpunk is one of those games where I want to touch on like the armor. Or the clothing not really counting as armor or whatever. Cyberpunk is one of those games where it's like if you're being honest with yourself, like your cyber settings, your cyberware should affect your defense stats.
Yeah, fact.
A t-shirt shouldn't stop a bullet, but if you're wearing a bulletproof vest, that should stop a bullet.
Yeah,
or it should add towards your your defense or whatever.
There's nuance to it.
There's a nuance. Yeah, Cyberpunk is one of those games where it's like if you take advantage of that, like I should be able to wear whatever t-shirt, hoodie, whatever I want. But like, yeah, maybe I'm wearing a jacket that's like from John Wick, where it has some bullet nano weave stuff weaved into the fabric. Yeah, it has some defense in it. Yeah, it has some defense in it. But my defense is really in my cyberware. I really got some like force fields going on or some enhanced dermatology layer skin stuff going on or whatever. But Cyberpunk really should lean into the nuance of your setting. You know what I'm saying? Like Skyrim isn't gonna have bulletproof skin. They might have reptile skin, or you're a werewolf now.
Oh yeah, chrome skin. That's a big thing in Cyberpunk too.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even even if getting more personal with it, like you should be able to get surgery on your character.
Yeah,
like
that's I feel like that's what they're adding in with the new Ripper Doc animations.
Yeah.
But also another thing I'm very excited about, bro. They adding in car combat. You can attach like rockets to your car and shoot people. They're having car chases and stuff.
Okay.
Like, bro, like, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be basically a whole new game. Like people are calling it like Cyberpunk 2.0 when this drops, because it's re-releasing with everything that we always wanted. So even though some of the things like the cyber psycho stuff, I don't know if I feel that. I feel like they're doing too much with that. Like basically they're saying like if you got too much cyberware, you could go cyber psycho, which in the lore like that means you can go crazy. But in game, I think they're gonna say like you're gonna lose like buffs. You're gonna like debuff certain things. I hope they scale that properly, because then that could make the game really annoying. Because that means that you can't put too much cyberware in, which I mean, I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, it's a video game. There needs to be some level of fun to it, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you.
Yeah, I don't want it too realistic.
I don't know how you do cyber psycho in a game like this.
Dude.
As a player, I mean, unless it's like a rage mode or something like that, like
a berserk,
a berserker mode. Like that's the only thing I could see where it's like, oh, you do damage, you do like 10 times damage and whatever because you have this much cyberware on you or whatever, or it's faulty cyberware, ghetto cyberware or something.
It's like the word Pacifica cyberware.
Yeah, like, you know, but I mean, like that'd be cool too. Like getting cyberware that has like street effects.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Versus getting cyberware from like rich people. You know what I'm saying? Or like rich doctors or whatever. Like this is CyberPunk is just one of those games where I feel like they really, the RPG of it is there. Like Mass Effect played in its lane. You know what I mean? Mass Effect said, hey, we're going from point A to point Z. There's not gonna be too much around there, but you're gonna go, you can take the red path, the green path, or the blue path.
Facts.
And then all throughout you're gonna get choices on which path you're gonna take. And then every time they made a game, they improved on it. You know what I mean? I want I see this as Cyberpunk 1.5. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, they're building up to like their peak self.
Yeah. So Cyberpunk 2 is gonna be amazing.
I need Cyberpunk 2 to really be amazing. And like that's fine because if this is more narrative centered stuff and more of a narrative centered experience, that's fine. But I do want Cyberpunk to really grow into like this really immersive game. This game that doesn't just jam on the brakes out of nowhere, where you're just like, oh, this is it, we're done.